All right, Chatterbox number 37. Candace Owens did nothing wrong. Skittles McStabby Pants here, and Skittles McStabby Pants is the only person who's going to be here today, as far as I know. Anybody else out there in the ether wants to join me, tweet me, or say something in the chat. Let's see here. If I get a little bit of stuff going, open up the chat and see what's going on. Take me a couple minutes to do all the standard setup here. So I can watch the chat where nobody's going to be watching but me. Maybe I'll type something to myself and make myself feel less lonely. Let's see. Hi, Abby, you are awesome. That's not weird. All right, well, anybody who joins the chat is going to be a little confused now. Oh, no, we have another viewer. So it's interesting. In the latest issue of Dogpile Monthly, apparently Candace Owens, better known as Red Pill Black, is under fire now because she created the website. What do you call the damn website? Social Autopsy, which is defunct and has finally been entirely deleted, although there was a splash page that looks like it might have accidentally collected data in the form of pictures and names that you could find through a rather obscure method of searching Google. I'm willing to bet very few people know what Suit Yourself knows, that you can find that, not publicly listed web addresses via Google if you do like that weird HTTP search or whatever. And I think it's an interesting situation because I think from everything that I've seen with Candace Owens, she's had a genuine change of heart and has decided that she's a conservative. I think that's pretty valid. I can't imagine, like the part that I don't understand is why people seem to think that that's all like this big fake thing. So presumably, I'm assuming that these people think that she had some sort of sinister plot with Social Autopsy, as opposed to what it really was a site that she had put together in an effort to stop bullying and harassment online. Awesome might be a stretch. William Senchever, yeah, no, I'm definitely not awesome. I just figured I might be the only one here, so I should type something in the chat that made me feel like somebody was watching. Oh, where was I? Oh, this is going to suck without somebody here to tell me where I was, because I woke up like an hour ago. Oh, she put together this site called Social Autopsy, which, to be fair, was a terrible idea. I mean, just a fucking awful idea. But the motivations behind it were not terrible and awful. I mean, the concept that you say, like, hey, man, I think people getting bullied and harassed online is wrong, and I want to, find a way to expose the people who are doing it so that it can be stopped. I don't see that as a terrible thing. Now, clearly, a lot of people in the social justice warrior community lie about what is harassment and what is not harassment. So a lot of people in the anti-SJW community are primed that anytime they hear those words, they just don't believe them. But believe it or not, there are people who actually do get harassed online. And I can understand the motivation that Candace Owens had to try to put a stop to that. If you consider what happened to her when she was in high school, which I don't think a lot of these people bothered to find out, because I think they watched one interview on Ruben's channel, watched Harmful Opinions video, and then just decided to jump on the fucking hate train. We had another viewer for a second. If you're out there, say, hey, man. Now, according to Candace Owens, in high school, and I've actually corroborated, there's articles on this online you can find. When she was in high school, she got a series of voicemails that were super racist and super hateful towards her from some anonymous people. Oh, hey, Mike. Mike, if you want to get on, you're welcome on, man. Otherwise, glad to have you here. Let's see. And so these were super racist, super aggressive, hateful, threatening to kill her, all that kind of stuff. And according to her, she didn't really have any super traumatic effect from this. So obviously I'm sure she didn't like it. I don't think anybody really would. But she wasn't particularly concerned. She was like, oh, this is just the kind of shit you get, you know, sometimes when you're not, you know, towing the line and being like everyone else kind of thing. But I wouldn't presume. I'm just saying, like, she said she wasn't affected. So I can understand why she would go from that to social autopsy. And I think that was, there were pure intentions there, even though social autopsy, again, terrible fucking idea. Bordering on illegal. Good Lord, Mike, you have to meet with your lawyer in a few minutes. You are just not having a good fucking year, man. I mean, the country's not having a good year. There's been hurricane after hurricane. The fucking state I live in just burned the fuck down. We had the shooting in Vegas. What else? You're going to fucking, you got kicked out of your house for a long period of time. Now you got a lawyer coming at you. Man, whatever's going on, I hope it all works out in your favor. I really do, because that sounds like some shit. At least on the good thing, I'm standing up against the community, but nobody's ever going to watch this video, so it doesn't fucking matter. So I can't destroy any fan base we built up. Yeah, good year for everyone, Mike. God damn. Well, hopefully soon you'll be able to come back and get on, man. I miss the disagreements. I do like having my opinions challenged, even if I don't change my mind or you don't change your mind. It is nice to hear an opposing point of view on a regular basis. Even though, and we also don't disagree on everything. Oh, you got your 40 grand? Damn, dude, that's nice. So when are you getting out to California, man? Or any other state? Oh, God, just get away from the people that keep fucking with you. Maybe if you're not there, they won't keep fucking with you, man. That's all I can think. This is the part of the hangout where everybody just stops listening because they have no idea what the fuck is going on. 40 Mike used to be a regular person on all of the podcasts we did. And hopefully we'll be again soon. He's a lot of fun. You can catch him on some of the Chatterbox streams. You can definitely catch him on most of the Untitled Hangouts. Definitely worth checking into. Very cool guy. I think his channel, 40 Mike, I think he has some stuff with him and a sword, too. I don't remember, if I remember correctly. Oh, he was also, if you ever bother to go back through our catalog of videos, the what was the sort of Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, like attempt at RiffTrax that we made a couple of times, which you can find on the Untitled Studios archive of videos, unfortunately for probably everyone. All right, anyway, back to Candace Owens. So I can see where she went from receiving all of these nasty phone calls and you know, verbal threats and racist harassment. I can see where somebody 17 years old would take that and go, you know what? I'm going to fucking go do something about this. Goes off to, you know, college and gets her degree in journalism, and then goes off and says, you know, I'm going to design a site that's designed to help expose the people who are doing this. Because, look, the social justice warriors complain that anybody who disagrees with them is harassing them, and we all know that's bullshit. We also know that there are people who genuinely get harassed online, and it can have some pretty fucking devastating effects to families and people. You know, sometimes people even kill themselves to deal because they can't deal with it. You know, and it's also illegal to harass people. And as much as I love anonymity, I understand that it's eventually going to start vanishing on the internet. That's an unfortunate thing, but it's a reality that sooner or later anonymity is going to be really difficult to maintain. And it'll be sad to see you go the way of the dodo, because, you know, as much as people complain about the harassment and everything else, I think that people being able to be honest and airing out things that are unpopular and having real discussions can be more important in a lot of ways. And social autopsy kind of was a little bit of a threat to that, a very minor threat to that. And everybody complains about the data collection part of it, like it's some sort of sinister fucking Nazi-like plot. Hey, man, your fucking cable company sells your data to other people. Your phone company does. Your fucking probably the company that picks up your trash sells data that they've gotten from you to other companies. Everybody collects data. Everybody sells data at this point. The only real difference between that and social autopsy is people are putting in your data for you, and that's where it probably was the most evil, if you want to call it, something that. Where's my brain? Usually other people have interjected and had other points by now. This is really weird doing this solo. But anyway, and that's why it was wrong, because it was other people entering the data, and I agree with that, absolutely. And since then, Candace Owens has actually agreed that it's not cool. She's changed her mind. She had this whole thing where the social justice warriors fucking went after her and shut her shit down, got it taken off of Kickstarter. And I'm sure a lot of people in the anti-SJW and the conservative side were, right on that same page. But her direct confrontations were all with the social justice warriors like Zoe Quinn. So then she took some time off of the internet because it essentially destroyed her name on the internet for a while, and thought about things and decided, you know what, I'm not really into being on the left wing. I'm right wing, and I think or in her words, she thinks she always has been. She just didn't realize that a lot of her values weren't really left wing values anymore. You're going to have to forgive the pauses when I take a drink and stuff, because otherwise my voice will just turn into fucking rocks grating on each other and you won't make out words. And I think that's genuine. I think this whole thing with how she's this terrible person and it was all lies and it was all some sort of sneaky fucking plot is maybe one of the most ridiculous things I've ever fucking seen. I mean, so apparently there was some sort of fucking conspiracy that she was running the site. Yeah, she's a scam artist, William, in imaginary land, man. I'm sorry, that's just not remotely true. What was the scam? How did her pretending to be a conservative for several months affect or benefit her in any way, shape, or form, other than or her website for that matter? And it didn't do any. There's no connection. There's no benefit for that. There's absolutely no reason for that. And she can't be a well-spoken, smart scam artist and make a decision that's completely fucking insane. I mean, we all know she wanted to make money. She should have stayed super, super left-wing, played off on all the harassment, and just collected the fucking crybaby cash. I mean, we've seen how many people do that. Zoe Quinn, Brianna Wu, Christy Winters, Anita Sarkeesian, and the list goes on and fucking on. So smart money would have been to stay over there. So what possible benefit was there to switch to the right wing? She's not going to get more money over here than she would there. It just isn't. It isn't. That's not how it works. We don't. The anti-SJWs and the conservative voices on YouTube are not making as much money as the SJWs and the liberal voices on YouTube. I mean, just in even it's a small amount of money in comparison to a lot of what people are making on Patreon and PayPal and what's that other one? I forget the other one, but there are many other ways that you can get money from your viewers directly. That's the advertising. She's not going to get any advertising in any of her videos. Whereas if she'd stayed left wing and started making videos about how she was being harassed, she'd have made tons of advertisement. It would have been spread way bigger than she is now. I just don't see how people think this is some sort of scam. There's no fucking. It's the worst scam in the world. And I'm not even a fan. I've watched a couple of her videos. I just watched this shit and I was like, what the fuck? So I watched some of her interviews. I did a little research and yeah, and it would have been the same if she'd stayed left wing, man. I'm sorry. She would have gotten plenty of subs. She would have gotten more money. She would have gotten on bigger shows. She would have gotten on more podcasts. And a lot of that stuff doesn't actually pay you any money, by the way. Joining another, somebody else's podcast she might make money from going on Alex Jones. I don't know. Alex Jones might pay his guests. I don't know how that shit works. but I doubt David Rubens does, and I doubt Stefan Molyneux does. And I find it ridiculous that for a community that professes to be skeptic, that we can't allow somebody to have a change of heart. So she's not allowed to change her mind or look at some new facts and be confronted with new realities and then be like, hey, you know what? I was wrong. I mean, how fucking does that really, then what's the difference between the social justice warriors and the anti-social justice warriors? And how are we suddenly the arbiters of who is and isn't allowed to be a conservative or change their minds? It's kind of ridiculous. And one of the things I thought was really funny, if you watch Jeff Holliday's video on the whole thing, I mean, the whole video is just ridiculous and antagonistic and unnecessarily hostile, like a child, which is very much like Jeff Holliday's style. But at the very end, he's like, let's see, I can't directly quote it, I can paraphrase it. He's like, hey, if you want to listen to a black conservative woman, here's one you can watch instead. And I don't particularly care for his blatant fucking assumption that anybody that's watching Candace Owens is watching her because she's black and a woman, because everybody that likes her is a fucking racist. That's the shittiest fucking point I've ever heard at the end of a video. Yeah, Jeff Holiday is about as deep as a puddle. But it was such a shitty little dig. Like, apparently Jeff Holiday thinks everybody who watches black women on YouTube is doing it because there's some sort of fucking internal quota. I don't get that. That's some horse shit right there. And that he can just replace the one with the other because they're black and they're women, and that's all that fucking matters, right? Apparently Jeff Holiday is super fucking racist if that's what he thinks, because I didn't particularly care for Candace Owens. I don't agree with a lot of her fucking points of view, but I didn't watch any of her stuff because she was a black woman. I watched it because it was like, oh, there's this new YouTuber coming up. Maybe I'll see what they got to say and see if it's anything I like. And it really wasn't. Wasn't anything particularly new. Wasn't particularly interesting. And I don't know. Like, I'm sure some people find her attractive, but she looks a little too much like a Barbie doll to me. Like, everything is just too fucking perfect. That just it looks scary. Like, in a relationship, shit's gonna go wrong, and she's gonna have no idea what to do. Which I could be completely wrong. That's super superficial. But honestly, I don't think she deserves. She needs to apologize to anybody. I don't think she owes anybody an explanation. I think somebody who's not a computer person, who's a journalist instead, can easily have made the mistakes that she made with thinking she had shut her website all the way down, but having some functionality still running, unfortunately. And then she's deleted the whole thing at this point and just removed it, as far as I know, or she's at least completely eliminated any functionality of the website. So, I mean, what is she supposed to do? Because I guarantee if she had deleted and taken down the website, people would have said that she was trying to hide it. And since she didn't, they're all saying she's like some scammer who's trying to like fucking run this secret evil scheme in the background that's, defunct. So how is she supposed to win? It's a zero-sum fucking game, man. It's a zero-sum game because there's unnecessary hostility. And instead of making all these hit pieces and playing the fucking, oh, I'm the fucking brilliant Sherlock, Tree of Logic, or whoever blew it up, man, instead of playing like this, oh, I fucking gotcha, I got the gotcha video, they could have fucking said, hey, here's all this information I've got, and I'd like to talk to this person about it, and seen that, hey, they'd already done several interviews talking about this, and it's not some sort of fucking brand new thing. This isn't something she was trying to hide. They could have talked to her and tried to have her on like a hangout or do a video where they talk with her about this stuff and figure it out. This is what creates the kind of divide that we get in these sort of tribal communities that we've started making. Where we can't have rational discussions. Oh, you saw 10 William Sinch over in the chat saying he saw 10 videos on this, and Jeff was the only one not to mention Tree of Logic. Yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me. Jeff is very much a brand. So, in a lot of ways, Jeff calling out Candace Owens is ironic because both of them are very much brand. They're both doing this to make money. They're both doing this as a business. They're looking at it as a business more than anything else. Hell, man, if you got the money, honey, Jeff has got the time. He's got 2 other channels, I think, where he basically takes money to like have conversations with people and have them on like special fucking hangouts and stuff. Not on his main channel, but on his alternate channels. And it's pretty clear that Jeff likes you if you got that money. A lot of his online friends are the ones with the cash stash, baby. And it wouldn't surprise me if Candace Owens is similar. I just don't think that that's an evil thing. I think it's not something I particularly care for, but not bad. They're not terrible people. They're just, unpleasant to be around, in my opinion. William's going on to say he questioned about it, and he said he was unaware of her vids, and he lied in the comment section. I'm sure. I wouldn't be at all surprised. I also think it's entirely possible Jeff watched maybe 1 or 2 videos for like half a minute and then just went off. But you're probably right. He probably had seen that video too and decided not to mention it because she's not. Tree Logic isn't as big of a channel, I don't think, Mike, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, he and Tree don't get along? That's not surprising. There's always some sort of YouTube dramas going on. Always the YouTube dramas. That's one of the reasons why I get a kick out of watching a lot of Failure and Tonka and Vamp stuff. Is because they do tend to get into a lot of like really silly dramatic YouTube dramas, and it's entertaining. It's entertaining. Sometimes I can't really handle it, but most of the time it's just kind of like sit back with your fucking popcorn and watch that shit. Can't call people out on shit if I'm willing to fucking watch it and be entertained by it as well. Oh, god damn, my throat is not used to being the only fucker talking, even though maybe I talk too fucking much on the podcast when I have guests. Let me check Twitter real quick. I don't think anybody has decided if they're coming on or not. Nope. I haven't heard anything from anybody, so I'm fucked. No guesses for Stabby. I can't imagine why when I take such popular fucking positions on things, man. Yeah. William, I don't blame you, man. Trolling people is where it's at. That's one of the things why, I hope that fucking anonymity isn't gone before I'm done with the net. I'll do what I can. I think anonymity is very important. I think it's far more important than stopping a few people who are harassing others. But I do think it's going to go the way of the dodo sooner or later, man. At some point, the internet is just not going to be anonymous. There's just too much danger to the powers that be when anybody can get on the internet. Although I do think there's going to always be at least a certain level of anonymity. I just think it's going to be really hard to do at a certain point. Like, you're going to have to have a lot more technical knowledge than the average person. Although, speaking of anonymity, I did see a rather entertaining news story. I don't remember if I saved it in my bookmarks. Here, we'll find out. But they caught some black kid at a school. Oh, yeah, he was... this is Breitbart, so take it with a grain of salt. Breitbart is not always the best. I'm going to screen share this. So police arrested a black man for KKK graffiti at Michigan University. He has been arrested for a series of racist graffiti attacks. I thought that maybe they caught him just one time, but he was KKK was spread for white and blue paint. I may be wrong, but I don't think the KKK just uses KKK as like they spray paint that shit. I don't know that they even do graffiti in that way. Like, I think they have other symbols that represent like the fucking group that are probably a lot easier and better looking than KKK. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. So Eddie Curlin, 29, a black student who studied at the school from 2014 to 2016, according to the Post, apparently. He's serving a sentence in jail on an unrelated charge. So clearly he is a pride of that fucking school. Former student Eastern who they just keep repeating this. I don't know why. Gosh, Breitbart, no wonder you're not the fucking biggest news in the country. It's like that's the third time you've repeated the same fucking information. It doesn't make your article longer. It just makes it more annoying. Let's see. The school's official website states, our officers have worked on this case extensively since day one, said Eastern Michigan University Chief Police Robert Hayes. We appreciate that people wanted a fast arrest, but in many cases, that is not the way police work happens. I recognize the anger, fear, and frustration that incidents caused for many of our students, faculty, and staff, and I thank them for their patience and understanding as we conducted a thorough investigation. I would like to acknowledge Detective Charles Moser, I don't know, specifically for his work on the case, as well as many officers in Eastern's Public Safety Office who worked tirelessly and professionally throughout the investigation. So what the fuck is the point of this? This is just him thanking people. Jesus Christ, why did you put that in there? So that's pretty funny. It makes you wonder, like, how many of those other supposedly, like, terribly racist incidents has occurred were, like, actually done by people like that young man. Oh, was this over a year ago and I just saw it now? I saw it on Twitter and I just clicked on it. I thought it was pretty fucking funny. I did put out a tweet asking if people were interested in coming on the day before. Maybe I should go directly to people. I don't know. I'm a professional, William. What do you expect, man? Professional here. Was that a year ago and I'm just that fucking unobservant? It's entirely possible. Let's see here. Oh, the crime happened a year ago, but they just got him now because it's like this is a current article. But I would believe it took a year to catch him. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Like they said in there, man, police work is really slow. Police are not there to, like, prevent crime. They're really there to, like, investigate and mop the shit up. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he got caught now, but the crime happened a year ago. It doesn't surprise me. Yeah, so the damage is well past done, unfortunately. And I guarantee none of the people who said anything awful to anybody else over it are going to be like, hey, man, I guess I'm real sorry about that shit. Oh. But I think there was one place where people hung little cardboard or paper swastikas all over the campus. I forget which school it was. But, it makes me wonder, like, was that also a bunch of students trying to incite hate and stuff like that didn't really exist? My suspicion would be probably that was the case. Hasn't that been like a regular thing, I think? Where social justice warriors have basically been caught on numerous occasions sending themselves like hate tweets or hate emails or threats via the post office. I think that's been like a regular occurrence for a long time now, unfortunately. And like it doesn't really get the coverage it should. Oh, there's a Christian group attempting to stem Sharia law in Europe. They're actually getting involved in the European Court of Human Rights. And why is the European Court of Human Rights remotely interested in Sharia law? Sharia law is not the actual law. The ruling will determine whether Sharia law can have supremacy over a member state's domestic law. Hey, man, if you're in the European Union, I know you're not listening to me because I don't fucking matter, but if you're in the European Union and they rule that Sharia law can have supremacy over a member state's domestic law, your only choice at that point is to fucking kill the people in charge. Because you're fucked. Once they decided that you don't even get to have your own laws and some random religion from somewhere else can just come in and supersede your country's laws, you need to get out of the European Union by whatever means necessary. And if that means killing your own government to fucking set a new one up that's going to say, yeah, guess what, we're done, and then killing them, that's what it would be worth it. I'm talking war, obviously, here. That's fucking scary shit. This is a lot scarier of an article than I fucking thought. Holy crap. Jesus. That is really disturbing, because I mean, I know that one of the things that's been a real big issue with the influx of Islamic immigrants all throughout Europe in mass immigration amounts is that Sharia law has been cropping up and basically defying the law in many countries over in Europe, especially, for a long time now. And like, they even have, neighborhoods where it's like a no-go zone, and they have little Sharia fucking squads that run around and enforce Sharia law in their little neighborhoods, and the police don't do anything about it because the government is worried about being called racist, despite the fact that Islam is not a fucking race. God damn, that is some terrifying shit for the European Union, though. Holy shit. Well, I might actually save that and bring it back up again when we're talking with Engelhardt and fucking De Trois Croix, because that is not cool. Let's see here. Anything else interesting going on? This might be a really short fucking cast, because I really just woke up not that long ago. I am not real clear on what's going on. But lots of stuff about Islam attacking people. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I just did a podcast to fucking shit on the people who were going after Red Pill Black. Oh, you know what? One thing I do have to say about Red Pill Black that was really fucking dumb on her part, for sure, was fucking claiming that it was some sort of funded attack on her. That was just dumb. I mean, I can understand feeling like that, or thinking, this is, everybody's out to get me. But I think calling it a funded attack was pretty silly, especially when you look at the people who were involved. I don't think I'd really give a shit about the opinions of many of the people that were involved, but I certainly wouldn't say that was funded by any group or individual. That's pretty fucking ridiculous. Oh, God. So new interesting stuff going on with the Russia stuff. It looks like there might actually be some splashback against Hillary Clinton. Ironically, not for the fact that she fucking gave a huge amounts of uranium to Russia in exchange for large donations to her fucking foundation that clearly, they're going to her daughter and their family and not to any charity of any kind. But for the fucking dossier that may have been that may have come from some Russian person or something that they may have contracted out with to get dirt on Donald Trump. Which truly is ironic if you look at this whole thing. The people who still think Donald Trump had some sort of Russian spy don't wonder that a Russian agent might be giving Hillary Clinton dirt on Trump for money. Don't think maybe that sort of negates that as a possibility. And considering there's zero evidence to link Trump in any way to Russia, in any way, shape, or form, like a spy. There may have been some attempts to influence his opinions in favor of Russia, but clearly none that went past the line. The most they have is the one dude in his group had some ties with Russians. None of which have any evidence to actually support it, per se, other than random accusations by other newspapers who may or may not have gotten their facts correct or not. There's no hard evidence. I don't think anybody's going to go to jail over any of the Russia shit. It's clear that the DNC is going to be completely allowed to just do whatever kind of fraudulent behavior they want to do, and that's going to be ignored by the courts. And I don't think Hillary's going to fucking stand in trial for any period of time at all, whatsoever. Let's see. In Canada, there's a guy who's going to stop using the word marijuana because it's racist towards Mexicans. I'm not sure how that works. It doesn't. Oh, man. God, I love you, Canada. If there's anything that makes me feel better about United States politics, it's Canada, because Canada is just so fucking irrelevant and bizarre. Oh, man. I mean, Justin Trudeau is like fucking Ken doll come to life. Man, he's probably about as much brains as your average Ken doll. And those fuckers voted for him. Probably are going to vote for him again. I mean, this motherfucker said if you kill your enemies, you lose. Oh, Canada, you didn't have maple syrup. We'd all just fucking put a fence around you and laugh until you killed yourselves off. Oh, let's see. I'm sure that's going to make me popular. Now, the one thing I am curious about, I wonder if Trump's ever going to get that wall. Like, I know the construction started in California, which gives me just a little bit of a warm spot in my heart, because it really pissed off everybody in California. And they're all saying he has to follow all of our rules. It's like, nah, because this is a federal matter and it's a matter of national defense, so it really doesn't fall within the state's purview at all. It's not none of your fucking business. Yeah, William Senchever, that is a good point. William Senchever in the chat says this past election and these never-ending attacks on Trump has really killed what credibility the mainstream media had left. Yeah, no, I think they have something like an 18% approval rate. Like 18% of the people actually believe in the media at this point. And I think what's really a kick about that, though, is that there are people who think like, well, my news outlet is telling the truth. Like if they're left-wing, that's CNN. If they're right-wing, it's the Fox. And it's like, no, they're both lying. They're all out of their fucking minds. I think the only saving grace for any of the media is Tucker Carlson, and not because he's necessarily honest, but because he's very entertaining. He really is a funny guy. I don't know that I would trust what he says, but I think he's very entertaining and humorous. And Rachel Maddow, I don't know how anybody watches her. She seems absolutely insane. But whatever, man. I guess, those two, I'd love to see his fucking fight between those two, though. Give them each like a fucking knife and to tie one of their wrists together like that Michael Jackson video. Beat it. You tie their left hands together and they each get a knife in the right hand and they just got to fucking duke it out. See who comes out living. Tucker Carlson or Rachel Maddow. You're thinking it's a guy versus a girl and he's super strong and he's just going to take her out. But she's fucking squirrely. I bet she's squirrely. You don't know. Well, that went an interesting way. This is why Stabby should never do his own. Oh, here's an uplifting fucking thing. Well, this is kind of cool, man. I'm gonna screen share this because we often talk about some gnarly shit. Some good news once in a while for this is Malibu's Doctor to the Homeless. So this is a doctor who goes out and checks people who are homeless. Let's see. No, I love how they try to slip out some Islam in it. If the mountain will not come to Muhammad, then Muhammad must go to the mountain. Let's see. Dr. Coley King, affiliated with the Venice Family Clinic in UCLA, is Malibu's Doctor to the Homeless. Okay, so this is in California, definitely. Malibu, California, I'm guessing. Because University of UC of Los Angeles. Does he have a handlebar mustache? Oh yeah, you can barely see. He actually has a fucking old-timey handlebar mustache to go with his long hair. Yeah, only in California, man. Yeah, see, the reason most doctors try to have short hair or hair that can be kept up under a thing is so that they don't, it doesn't get in the way, but whatevs. Try to get somebody out of the VA system, that's probably for the best. Interesting. So yeah, he goes around and just helps people out, man. Right on, Doc. You're cool. Cool in my book, bro. Man, is there anything else going on in the news? I can't think of much else. I mean, other than like, fucking the Korea thing, but that's just, that's eventually going to end up in violence, obviously. But who knows how bad it's going to get. Oh, thinking I might wrap this up, man. I think I did just about 45 minutes on my own. And hopefully next time we will have actual other people on here. I'm going to have to really work on getting guests and inviting other people. But thank you, William Stenchover, for joining us in the chat. And unfortunately, this is Skittles with Savvy Pants signing off a little early. Sorry for the short episode for any of the viewers who watch these in the can. Yeah, William, I did avoid dead air, but man, my voice is really not that strong. It really is starting to go out on me. So I'm going to have to cruise on out of here. Unless I want to suck on cough drops for the rest of the fucking day, and I really don't like the taste of cough drops. Anyway, this is Chatterbox, episode 37. Candace Owens did nothing wrong, signing off.